Hello.
Oh, my headphone did not connect. How does it
Amber,
sound?
can you hear?
Yeah, does it sound normal or do I sound bad?
Sounds fine. Why?
Yeah, sounds
You
fine to me.
headphone free?
Yeah, my headphone didn't connect, but my ears have been kind of been hurting, so I might just do it without on this time.
Still getting together. I think this is gonna be a short one anyway.
Well, I imagine so.
I was asleep like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, I was out in the sun and doing the trampoline, so it definitely, like, I took a nap earlier.
All right. Yeah, we moved the couch today, so it looks different again. It's the last time we podcast.
Are you recording?
She got that.
Sorry.
Yeah. First thing I do when I like enter the room now.
What did you say? Allie, what did you say?
I was just gonna say, didn't you just move furniture before we did the last podcast?
Yes, that was
It's
my point.
all the time, yeah.
Well, wifey bought it's called a Chase Lounge. It's basically a big giant ass chair.
I know what it is. We have one. Well, we had one. We took it to the dump.
Well, fine. So she got one of them, and she's getting another one coming Monday. So the couch is now out in the room that I hang out in. And the recliners, which were falling apart, and I needed to replace since like Thanksgiving a year and a half ago, are out back.
Oh
The
no,
one
I love
recliner.
those recliners.
Yeah, well, you want them? I'll put them in the garage. They're not in the greatest condition. The one I can't get to recline because like the button on the side broke.
Wait, the ones that we use all the time?
Yeah, and if you take the cover off, all the leather is like shedding. It's like peeling off.
Oh, I know. Yeah, trust me, I know that. We have cats that love to.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, these are doing it by themselves without cats. So that's why the covers went back on, because I didn't have the covers on them for a while.
Yeah, I thought they were like perfect.
Dude, it's falling apart.
Damn. No. So no more reclining in that room, huh?
No, but I have a big giant couch, so naps are going to be much more, because those recliners are pain. But might also be dangerous. It might be even harder to stay awake now. Anyway, to be determined, because the TV is still like getting the glare from the big bay windows. Not sure how I feel about that. To like close the curtain to watch TV during the day.
Right.
Which I may do that anyway, because it's gonna be like 100 fucking degrees now. Anyway, none of that matters. How we doing?
Pretty good. And this was a fun. Like I forgot that I forgot he writes scary stories for a minute, just because I feel like we've been reading. I mean, like more. Not that it's not scary. Oh, that's true. I forgot we just finished that one.
I'll say it. Bag of Bones is pretty scary, right?
Like it just feels like it reminds me. I haven't read. Let me rephrase that. I haven't read Stephen King short stories in a long time, so it definitely brought back a good feeling. Where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he's good at this too.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I feel like he's stronger at long form, but the short stories are pretty fun.
Yeah. And it seems so rare for him because everything he writes is long. So I'm like, whoa, how did you actually do that in 10 pages?
Right? That's one sentence. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, we could debate forever what he's better at. I think he's pretty good at both. He's one of the only authors I know that consistently publishes short stories. So that in itself, I like.
I mean, it makes sense if you know the way his mind works. Like, he's got so many ideas. Of course, he would have a bunch of short stories in there, too.
Oh, those second two felt like M. Night Shyamalan. It was just like, okay, I know there's a twist. What's the twist?
Yeah, the fifth step really surprised me. I thought it was like a feel-good story, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then I was like, wait, what did that just say?
The opposite. I thought Willie the Weirdo was going to be kind of the more, like, horror one. The fifth step was a little bit predictable to me.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I had faith in him and his recovery, which he still seems to want to recover from alcoholism, just not from killing people.
Yeah. I guess we can start with the short ones and then get into the.
I just didn't see it coming at all. I don't know why. I was like, whoa, all right.
Willie the Weirdo, not Willie Weirdo. What is that called? The fifth step? That's the second one. The AA one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to get like a vibe from him, and I was like, what is this like? So he says he has to go talk to a stranger. So, okay, so first question, how much does Randy know?
Probably not any of the killing stuff.
But, like, he depends, you have to be truthful. Doesn't he just sit there and say that?
That's true, and he knows if you lie to him. That's a good point. I don't know. Does Randy know everything?
Right? Is Randy in on this? That was the first thing I thought. I was like, wait, so he's just
It kind of
so he
reminds.
told his yeah,
No, you go ahead.
so he told his sponsor he was going to go murder someone because he was what was that? The fourth step or the fifth step? I forget what it was.
What's the?
I don't know the steps like that. I more know of the steps.
Yeah, I have. I don't know any of them.
I know you have to like make amends for all the people you fucked over. Right? That's like 4 or 5 in there somewhere, and that's the basis for the entire show of My Name Is Earl.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's a good
making
point.
amends is later in the steps. I think the first ones are more about like accepting your illness and accepting God's help.
No, he did say that. That was like, you can't do it yourself. And it was an interesting take. He's like, I don't believe in God. Like, I don't give a shit. Do it anyway. Okay, well, whatever works, right?
Right, and like it's more about the routine, I guess, and the commitment than the belief.
Admitting
Randy
to
might
God
not
ourselves.
know though.
I'm 50-50 on that one. My first instinct is Randy doesn't know. But like you said, that he knows when you're lying, so you can't lie to him. So I don't know.
Well, he knows when you're
Is there
lying, but
like,
he also said, "Don't tell me, tell a stranger."
but if you do it and tell, if you tell me you did it and didn't do it, I'll know because I lied for 30 years. So you can't lie to me. Didn't he say it like something like that?
Essentially,
But it's not a lie. Not telling him is not a lie. It's just not
that's true.
I
mentioning it.
mean, I guess. A fine line. But it's interesting, first of all, did somebody go to AA? Because every book for the last 20 years, the characters are in AA.
I thought. I mean, we knew he got sober, so I'm sure he's been to a few meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the way he just kind of twisted it. It's like the guy's following the steps. He's like, but I like to kill, so what can you do? It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'm sorry I'm drinking, but
It's a
this is
work
kind of fun.
in progress.
Yeah, he's not sorry about the killing part. He's like, I like that part, but I just wish I could stop drinking. Okay.
I feel like that's the wrong addiction to stop, but okay.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta draw the line somewhere, right?
Have you guys watched Dexter?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It makes me think of season 2 when he told Rita that he had an addiction and she was like, "You need to go to NA." And he was like, "I'm working the steps. It's still not working."
I do remember that,
Yeah,
and
I wonder if
I
Dexter
think
actually
it
did.
like resonated slightly. No, he found his next victim there. I think is what happened.
Well, he ended up killing his sponsor. Or she messed a whole bunch of stuff up, but she was
I feel
crazy.
like you could call everybody evil if you just wanted to kill them. You could find a reason for it.
Oh yeah, of course. It can be objective.
Right.
That's
My
why
point. Dexter only kills bad people. It's like, well, I feel
Well,
like some of them
Dexter
people
only
were a
killed
little.
serial killers really. Yeah. Or yeah, like
So I was going through the episode we did last time, and as soon as like it was done recording, it said Pamber and Ed. I was like, oh my god. So I hit it to play it. Fucking Allie wasn't on there, but I'm too smart because they told me that everyone has their own separate file that uploads. So I had to go find the spot where the actual recording files were, and Allie's recording was in there. It just wasn't like in the main upload. So I had to like create a new edit with her recording added in, and then everything worked. I don't know what the fuck
weird.
is why I left them. Why I
I was
left in the
thinking
first.
they
The
left
only thing
it.
I can think is what.
Well, no, I was just like, when we finished recording last time, I was like, I know it said uploaded. I didn't close it until it said uploaded.
Yours must take longer or something. I don't know why. So
Maybe.
far, it's only been your like file that it's happened to. Been twice, but I know how to find it. Well, because I'm like, she's in there. Like I was talking to her for 2.5 fucking hours. It's got to be there somewhere. Because I'm not fucking doing that again. That was the end of Bag of Bones. There's no way I wanted to do that again.
Mhm.
no.
But I think I got.
Although
But I was like, this is the first. Remember, I just came back to Riverside because they pissed me off because the shit wasn't there last time or the one time, and then the first time I go back, the same thing fucking happened. I was like, I was gonna get on the phone and scream at them until they found the file, but then I found. So I meant to tell you that I was highly upset for like 2 days until.
I'm glad that you can use your brains and your degree that you're able to figure out a solution. Degrees.
Well, that's the problem. Whenever I call, like, I don't know, like AT&T or I don't know, Xfinity or whoever, like, fucking, I know more than they do half the time. I'm like, yes, I already that. No, that didn't work. And like, no, you can't. Like, I'm telling them why they can't do that because that's
Let me speak to your supervisor.
yeah, they have a script clearly and they don't deviate.
Yeah. Did you pick? Sorry, this is a little bit of a transition, but did you pick this book because it mentioned Darkscore Lake?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, whoa, right. I think that's why we're reading this.
Yeah, and the TR.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The
TR is gone now.
yeah, we'll get there. Good old Pritchard.
All
I
those.
like that line.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I'm still on the fifth thing. What's it called? The fifth step? Oh, what's the fifth step? Now I get it. Haha, it just dawned on me.
Really?
Yeah, well, sometimes
The fifth step is telling somebody you're. I don't remember exactly.
It's
right. You got to tell someone all the shit you did wrong. Wait, so did he actually tell
Yeah,
him, or did he just kill him?
Well, we don't know if he dies, but he stabbed him.
So he told him his secret as he was stabbing him.
Yes.
That's how he found out, because he did his whole story about shit that didn't matter, as it turns out. Well, like we're talking about his ex-wife, and
that was the part that I had to stop. And I was like, "But I did slit her throat." I was like, "You what? Excuse me? Did I read that right?"
He just both these the first stories like that too. Like that, you just like it just came out of nowhere. Like wait, there's somebody on the dock. What the fuck? And it was just he was like blah 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 blah. Me and my wife blah blah blah. And then I stabbed him. And then he tried to get up, tried to pull back, but the grip was too strong. Oh, I got it right in front of me.
Yeah.
There's one more thing Jack said. He sounds like Columbo. I did leave, but I cut that bitch's throat before I did. I didn't stop drinking, but it made me feel better. What the way beating up Glenn Ferguson made me feel better. I don't know who.
That was the guy that he said picked a fight with him, but he really just wanted to beat him up.
All right. Yeah, once he started talking about, I was like, I didn't think he was. I didn't realize he was going to kill him, but I was like, this is going to take a turn here. This isn't as innocent as it seems.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely like the wanting to beat up people, and then he said he wanted to beat her up, but he didn't, which I don't even know if I believe that.
Yeah, and then the other guy's like, oh God, he was like, I know where this is going, and I don't know if I want to hear it. But then he never said he did anything to her. So I was, happy about that part anyway.
With Willie the Weirdo, I didn't really feel like it was that. I mean, I guess it was a twist. I just didn't understand what was happening, or like I was like, is he just like making these stories up, or was he actually there for all of those events?
I think. Well, tell me what you think.
Well, now I think that he's some kind of immortal spirit or demon that travels from body to body.
Right. That's exactly what I think. Grandpa was gone a long time
ago. Yeah.
And my first thought was, how many people has this thing murdered since like ancient Egypt? It was Cleopatra. So I think he was there. Because when he first said, "Tell me about Gettysburg," I'm like, hold on, what year is this book story set in?
I had the same thought. I'm like, there's no way he's that old.
Well, and I even God, it was like it had the TV with only 3 stations, and I was like, okay, so TV was invented, and I looked this shit up. I was like, Gettysburg was in 1863. TV was invented in 1927. Hypothetically, he could be.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the 50s and they were watching Ed Sullivan, there's a chance some 80-year-old, 85-year-old was in the war.
Yeah, but then it was like COVID happened, and I was like, that's nope.
Oh, yeah, I could have done.
Said it without actually saying it.
I could have done without the COVID reminders. I've never expected to see that in a Stephen King book. I was like, ew.
I know.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like it's something that happened, and so it's probably going to get written about. But like, I don't.
It's too soon for all of us.
Yeah, I don't know that I want the real world in there. I read this shit to get away from all that.
Yeah, well, for me, this is the most recent work of his that I've read. It's like probably for all of us. Never mind. I don't know why I said that. It's the most recent work. So, it just is very
it's the most
strange.
recent for everybody that's Stephen King fan. Just so.
I'm not used to him talking about present day stuff. I was like, what is happening? This is weird.
It is kind of cool reading a new one where it's.
It is. It's cool. Don't get me wrong, but like it's off-putting just because I'm not used to it. Usually
right?
it's
I
like the
agree.
80s or 90s.
Usually
I
like
definitely agree.
1997.
Allie, what did you say?
No, I'm just saying I agree with you. It's weird reading like current day fiction from him because everything, even his older works, were sometimes based in like 20 years prior or something.
Right. Yeah, we're used to dealing with the early part of the 20th century to the,
Well, on the
well, I guess
podcast,
all of it.
I read them when they come out. This one's been taking me a while, but now I'm kind of into it.
I also like, no, I think that was in the first story, but the thing that he calls metafiction, which I'm sure is a real word, but I'm like, yeah, you are the master of that for sure.
I highlighted it. What did he say? Some authors would call it self-serving or something like that.
A story with real people as made up characters. Just like a town that doesn't exist, Derry, that is actually banger.
Wait, made up people, real people in a made up situation, right?
He said I wrote it down, a story with real people as made up characters, meaning like you just changed the name.
No, he kept the names and put them in a story. Isn't that what that means?
I assumed he's writing about real events, but I don't know. Maybe I misinterpreted
Nah, I don't fucking know. Who cares?
it.
So
Do you
yeah,
have
I mean, short answer is, oh, okay. Well, what the fuck is up with Willie? So he's a future serial killer, right? His like sister's not wrong.
It seems like
no, but she doesn't have to be so harsh about it.
Well, I feel like she's a teenage girl, and they're not known as the nicest in the world.
I mean, I guess
You
it
know, I
also
was
makes. Sorry, go ahead.
okay.
I guess it also makes sense when like you're a young girl and you're like worried that he might hurt you.
I don't think she actually believes that the way she fucking teases it.
You know,
Like you should,
but that's what
like
I
she gets,
mean. She takes pleasure in his displeasure, which is like no matter how you feel about him, like that's weird.
and she gets mad when he's not upset. And she's like, "Oh, I can't like wait to tell him that his fucking favorite person in the world's dying. See how you like that?" And it's like, wait, you're supposed to be crying. You are weird. Like, wait, so you're upset that he's not upset
Well, and
when
then
you wanted him to be upset.
she goes through this whole thought process of like, am I weird for thinking that I would just send him away? Nope. And I'm like, well, okay, you came to that decision a little fast, but
I mean, the kid was watching it, and I feel like every one of them people that like kicked him or was in that group are gonna be dead soon, or would have been. I'm not sure now. I don't think they were making it through.
because of the demon,
No, because of Willie, without the demon.
Willie was. Well, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I mean, like wanting to kill people doesn't mean you have the like strength to do like it's still a group of men. Like unless he poisons them or something.
I mean, I did
This
where
kid
there's a
has
will, there's a way type of thing.
That's true. He could
this
set up
kid
a
has
trap.
issues. What does he say? The virus was it was it wasn't a disaster, but it was pretty close or something like that.
It
Like the
wasn't
fucking
Kevin.
has anybody read that?
Well, it wasn't Yellowstone blowing up, which is
Right.
fair.
That used to bother me, but then I was like, who cares
I
if it
think
does?
I learned more information about how much it actually would affect it, and it's like it's bad, but it's not as bad as I was told.
I mean, we wouldn't make it very. Nobody on this continent, I don't think.
See, I don't think that's true, but I'm not. You know what? Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, not immediately, but the life would be shit, and then you would die.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you know how I feel about that, so I'm gonna take the easy way out on
Right.
that one.
Right. Yeah. Uh, Odd Thomas. Anybody read Odd Thomas? Dean
No, but
Koontz?
you've talked about it, Dean Koontz, yeah.
There's these I don't know how to say this. There's these shadowy things that only like he can see that show up when before disasters happen, and like he knows something bad's about to happen because he starts seeing them everywhere. Kind of like the things at the wasn't there things at the in Insomnia at the Civic Center where she was going to talk?
Oh, the death bags.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Is that what it was? Oh, they all had death bags around them. It's kind of like that. These are like
There
shadowy
was like,
things, and the more you see, and he's kind of like that. Like he's like, look, every story was about Gettysburg was about the people that died, and well,
yeah,
except for Cleopatra's tits. That was kind of random.
demons will be demons.
Yeah, right. Hey. Well, no, that was just Willie. That wasn't the demon.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, if it is, I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming it's a mortal being traveling from person to person. It's probably a demon.
I mean, you could look at it like this demon kind of did the world a favor
Why?
because Willie was gonna fucking go
Yep.
kerblooey.
But it's not like him. Like, he's also just as insane, if not more insane. So
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see where Willie was going to go with it.
We also don't fully know that he's insane. The demon.
I mean, he hasn't.
I don't mean insane, but he clearly likes to kill people. Is what I meant.
I mean, that you knew I was a demon when you started this.
So I think a demon who likes to kill people is worse than a human who likes to kill people. That's my
How?
argument.
Is there like a demon that doesn't like to kill people? Like Casper the
According to
Friendly Demon?
Charmed, yeah, but
Right? You're going to go like Has-Been Hotel on me or something?
Sorry, Allie, what did you say?
No, so yes, his stories have been based on death, but is that because he was gearing them towards what Willie wanted to hear, or because he liked talking about them? Like, it could be both, but if he's just gearing them towards what Willie's talking about, because he did his soul transference or what the fuck ever he did when he was dead and dying. So we don't know if maybe he did that every previous time.
Yeah, but he still took over a child's body. Like, Willie's gone now.
True, but
That's a
he
good
lived
question.
a full life.
Where
Willie-
is Willie?
Willie
he
didn't
said you.
know. Like Ed said, it could be doing the world a favor in that case. Like, he could maybe see that darkness in him. I'm not saying that he did a good thing. That is not the point I'm trying to make. But I'm just like, if you're a demon,
It feels like an ethics question.
like, if you're a demon and you can easily hop bodies, why would you not hop when you were younger so that you didn't have to go through the hassle of getting old and getting cancer and getting sick and all that?
He's a kind of demon. Well, you know what? I guess you brought up Dexter. That is kind of a good comparison now that I think about it. So it's like he only takes over people who were going to kill people.
Okay.
The Dexter Demon.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, it's like for my theology final, the demon or the serial killer?
It's also hard because, like, Willie, I mean,
Could they both live in there? Sorry.
I have no idea how being possessed works or whatever he does, but the fact that he said, if you like, what did he say? Wait, here it is. You want death, get a mouthful. Makes me think he died.
Yeah.
I think they switched bodies, like Anne Rice style,
Right, exactly.
and then he died. Because that was the tell, right? I don't remember it necessarily, but that's
Well,
why
he
he
had
had him like
the
put the
tell.
skin between his lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Grandpa was doing before, right? Now Willie's doing it.
Yep.
That was the giveaway. Huh. Yeah, that is kind of an ethics question. I don't know who the bad guy here is. Willie clearly had issues, but they didn't get to blossom.
But he also didn't. I don't think I mean, I don't remember it saying he did actually hurt anyone. He just likes, he just seems to be, a psychopath in the true sense of there's no emotion there. But that doesn't necessarily mean he'll kill anyone.
I mean, just watching a dead rat look down. I guess that's not. I could see me doing that if I was bored or stoned.
He was also bottling the fireflies and letting them die.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, I done that by accident. And then I learned about holes in jars.
Yeah.
Did that to a hamster one time.
I was gonna say a lot of kids have to learn lessons. I accidentally sat on a rat once.
Oh, you didn't like bite your ass? Literally?
No, I wish it just died.
Oh,
Weird,
Yeah.
right?
We
What?
all learn.
Remember when you had rats, and I was like, well, that's not something I ever expected to hear on purpose.
No, but they are the best small creature you could possibly own.
they're
Domestic.
Hamster.
they're so
What'd you
cute.
say, Alan? Mm-hmm. They're so friendly too. Like, they almost never will bite you, and you can train them, and they're just like so fun.
Yeah, hamsters, you never know if they're gonna bite you or not. I hate those things.
Yeah, hamsters, gerbils, even mice, like there's a good maybe 50-50 chance they'll bite you, but rats never would bite us.
Anyway, so that
Anywho,
was the time I sat on a rat. I put a hamster in a little mini jar and like put the cork on it while I cleaned his cage, and then forgot that there's no air in the jar. I tried to get a straw and like give it like hamster mouth to mouth, but that didn't work.
oh, that's so
I was like,
sad.
yeah, but the hamsters die a lot, man. Like I can't
They
maintain
die
them.
so easily. That's why we end up getting rats, is because we kept losing our hamsters.
Yeah, it's like, what was that? Oh, he's dead. Or they're fucking eating it. It's a weird thing. You have to keep dad away from the kids because he likes to eat them. Like, okay. You have to wait for them to get big enough that it's too hard to do.
But definitely, obviously, the common denominator is none of us wanted to kill those poor animals. So there's definitely a difference with Willie.
Well, I mean, yeah, would he actually do it? Who knows? I guess we'll never know. He was definitely fascinated, and Grandpa was like, or excuse me, Grandpa Demon was like, well, hey, firsthand. Was that his plan the whole time? Is that what
He should have just had one of. Well, I don't know how that works. Actually, never mind. He would still be dead either way. I'm like, why don't you just make him your like demon friend and like kill people together?
I was thinking that, like, if the demon possessed Willie and then it had the serial killer and the demon in the same body, there's so much potential there.
I don't think a demon needs a serial killer. That's like why I'm like, humans are not on
But
the
he
same
could,
level.
like, think of things that maybe the demon wouldn't. Like,
You think
when
an
can
ancient demon who's been around for thousands of years wouldn't have thought of things?
you think they know about lie?
Good question. Why don't we ask one?
I would hope they would.
Will if they
Well,
I also
I don't
don't
maybe
think
think
they're
ask
that
them
ever
like
though.
exactly
I
who a demon's not exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
send them to Altair 4 and be done with it. Make the cleanup easier.
What was the? I guess it was Alter 4 was the last like super crazy reality.
Look, place it.
Trying to think.
because Willie the Weirdo had all the history stuff, though I was shocked the Kennedy assassination was not one of the things.
Oh,
Well,
don't worry, it's still in.
it was in the first story.
I
Yeah, you can't put it in every story, but yeah, that's a
He's
good
like,
point there.
but I want to.
And that's how we ended up in this book because I think I text you guys like the obligatory
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy reference, and
Yeah.
then
It's
it
a
was like
shame.
it's a T.
We'll have to go back one day once we get through all these other books and reread that with Allie. Because it's like, I didn't realize how important that would be.
What? Right? I didn't know how much of a thing it was for this guy. Jesus Christ.
Like, it's funny that was the first one we did. It's like a little 19.
Yeah, we kind of picked the perfect book. Oh, somebody said something about the Dallas police in this book too, and I was like, oh, how? But yeah, like we picked the perfect book to start with. I had no idea. I was just trying to pick something that wasn't like necessarily harder to like get into, but was still like a good story.
Yeah.
If
I
we
had
break it in for
no
the
clue.
holidays this year, I could just read it on my own.
Hell, I'd do it again at this point. I love that.
I'd do it again because, again, I didn't realize how important it was going to be.
We'll
Well,
do it when we
and
run out of
now,
books.
of course, my opinion has changed, so I tend to agree with him.
Yeah, you're all in now.
Not that it was a watershed moment, but that Oswald didn't do it, so.
The thing he said. The thing. It was definitely a watershed moment for. I mean, for his generation, it was. It was like our 9/11. I don't know. I don't know. 9/11 is that a watershed?
It is, yeah, I would say so, but I think that's why I'm all in on the conspiracy because, like, the government hated how much the people liked him.
Who the government?
The CIA. You know
I don't know anything about.
who.
And I'm definitely deleting that part. Anyway, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. I love that story. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have it's got an interesting ending. I don't mind it.
I don't
It
even
makes you,
remember the ending anymore. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, green cards and yellow cards are involved.
Actually, I take that back. I remember most of. Yeah, never mind now.
There was I can't really just I can't
Yeah,
you can't talk
it's fine.
about the ending without ruining the whole adventure. So.
Let's just say
But
time travel is something you should leave alone.
it's hard. Many strings.
I mean, I feel like we kind of already knew that time travel is not something you should mess with. Just logic.
Yeah.
Does he have another time travel type book?
Well, there was one. What book? I guess like the Dark Tower. They time travel.
Yeah, but there's not one where straight goes to like through a time portal into a different like year
I don't think so.
or dimension. Maybe there's a dimension-y one.
Well, Lisi's story is kind of dimensiony, but
Oh, I don't hate. Not
he
my
writes
favorite.
so often about losing his spouse, and I'm like, is she okay?
Does he have any books where there's like two parents
Technically,
that
Willie
like
the
make it
Weirdo.
to the end of the book? What?
Technically,
Bill
Willie the
Den.
Weirdo.
True. He's even got a grandparents.
I said books, not
Oh,
four.
excuse me. Bill
That's
Denbrough has both
4-page
his
story.
parents, just no brother. Bill Denbrough. Well, actually, so does Bev.
I mean,
In the book, yeah.
Georgie's kind of a big scar on that family.
You said parents. You didn't say siblings.
Yeah, but it still counts. I mean, Phil's been through enough. Good God, he's building sewers in his fucking garage for Christ.
You're asking, is there a Stephen King book where there's not a significant loss?
I guess maybe
Probably.
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. It's like asking, is there a book where there's not an author?
I guess there's not. I can't. I mean, I guess I
I'm
didn't read
sure
it.
there are. I mean,
Stories like, yeah, that I really want there to be. So screw that. Well, I meant more like that. It seems to be a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of single parent stories.
yeah, it's easier to have a hero that way. Or a tragedy.
Plot point.
Well, it's easier to have something, happen to damage people. They
Exactly.
seem to be better to work with.
Jake had both parents, he just got taken away from them.
I mean, Jake kind of had no parents at the same time.
True. But he didn't lose anyone except for his own life.
That is true, though. He's like, his like poster
And
should be up on telephone poles somewhere.
I guess Oi technically. Wait, yeah. No, Jake died first, so.
Jake died like all the time. There's a
Well,
thing with
Jake
him.
died twice first before Oi died once. Anyway.
All right. So back in the TR, kind of. I kind of wish the whole thing was there. Two talented bastards.
Bastids.
I
Could it
love
be
it.
fate?
Fight.
When it
Yes,
said
fight.
fate, huh?
You sounded more Australian.
Well, no, what's that movie called?
Nah, it's what's her name? Juliette Lewis and Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born
You seen
Killers,
that?
yeah. Because when he says,
She's like,
he asks, could it be fate? But the fate is italicized, so in my mind I read it as fate.
you'll never hear the word again without thinking.
Right.
You might have to watch the movie just so we can watch that part again.
I definitely
Plus, it's
want.
a crazy ass movie.
I watched it again with Matt because I love, like, it's just so different. The editing is crazy, and it's also like, a horror movie kind. I guess that's definitely a horror. I mean, whatever. It's
That's a
thriller.
horror movie. It's
Yeah.
campy at the same time. Kind of like Evil Dead. Like you don't take it too seriously, but it's
It
like
reminds me
fun.
more of Rob Zombie, like House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah. Yes. Am I allowed to say that? It's a fun horror movie.
Why aren't you allowed to say that?
Well, I don't know.
It's
I
not
can say
real.
whatever. You know, I like Family Guy. It's like, shut up. It's a cartoon.
If people didn't
When it's
enjoy
got,
watching horror, it wouldn't be so popular. Stephen King wouldn't be so popular.
it is weird these days. Everybody's into it. And I was growing up, like I was the only one I knew.
Oh, I like it because like those are the only movies I want to watch. So I'm like,
There's so much to pick from now. Like
oh,
there's
I
so much.
also I've had like multiple conversations with people recently where I say I like horror and they're like, I'm not into gore, and I'm like, honey, gore is a genre of horror, but it's so encompassing of so many other things.
Yeah.
That's like saying I'm into Stephen King, but I don't like The Dark Tower.
Well, hold on, no. I'm not into gore, but I watch it because I have to, but I hate it.
I'm not into it, but I fucking love Saw. Does that mean I'm into gore? But I'm not like into like
You know what I love?
Friday the 13th or Michael Myers or any of that shit. So,
I love
Wait.
the first Saw. Sorry, go ahead, Allie.
I'm sorry, did you just say you don't like Friday the 13th or Michael Myers or something like that?
I'm not into it. It's not like my favorite.
That's not a gore factor, though. It's just a slasher factor.
Yeah, slasher and gore are
Yeah.
two different things.
Yeah, that's way
Okay.
different.
So I'm not a slasher fan then. But gore, I like a good.
Gore is
I
like
gotta say.
Hostel and Saw and
Yeah, I like a good gory
House of a Thousand
squirm.
Corpses.
That movie was so over the top when it came out. Like, whoa, there's nothing like this. I was like, where's my daughters at? They got to see this right now.
I love Saw for the plot lines, so that's why I could watch. I like Saw 1, Saw 2 maybe, but I could go without like 3 to about 7 or 8 because it's all just what's the most disturbing way that we can like kill people. And I'm not into that.
It got kind of stupid.
Like,
That
I
got
like
really
the
stupid.
psychological aspect more. I don't want to see people get their skin ripped off because it's glued to the seat of a car. Like, I'm
I mean, I
good.
like both. I like
No, I don't
what
like it.
made
I'm saying
Saw
that.
right. But what made Saw like unique was the sometimes it was the time factor. Like you have 60 seconds and that guy's dead. Oh, just kidding, he's not dead.
I mean, well, Watch Mojo taught me that so many of those traps were impossible to escape anyway, and that's also not fun. It is just purely for torture, and I don't want to watch torture.
Agreed.
Well, only that was the Amanda trap. Well, that's
Yeah,
just
but
what I was
she
going to
was in
say. The
charge
fact
from
that
like 3 to 7,
well, right, and that's when it got bad. I'm talking about one and maybe two, and I'm not even sure about two. Because
right? You could just
that
watch. If you watch 8, you'll get all the effects of number 2. I promise you.
yeah, that guy in the bad guy in two got on my nerves. I hated that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Although
if it was the actor or the character, but I hated that.
the one who threw her into the pit of needles. I love it. Like again, Watch Mojo was on autoplay at your house, so I remember saying like it helped him because he just threw her in, so he didn't have to do the trap himself. I'm like, that's a good point.
There's no way. And then she climbs out of there and she's like stepping. There's no way. There's just no way.
So my
I've had
point
it.
is, I do not enjoy watching gore, but I accept that it is a genre of horror. But it is when I think of horror, I don't think of gore at all.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I like Saw because there was a way out. You might not want it, but there was a way out. It was awful judgy, though. It was like, who's this guy to fucking tell me? Well, at first they were all related to him, and then he just started branching.
Well, the whole thing started because the poor guy like switched his X-ray, right?
Shit, yeah, Dr. Lawrence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh
everybody
yeah.
who ever like wronged him ends up working for him.
Or like the
Weird.
guy, remember, I think it was the first movie, the guy tries to kill himself, so that becomes his wrongdoing, and then he puts him in a trap and he dies.
Oh, you want to kill yourself? Huh? I'm going to kill you for that. Wait, what?
Anyway,
Yeah,
it
like, so if I
just,
do nothing, I'll just die. So, all right, we're good.
I've had multiple conversations like that where I didn't realize how many people think of gore when they think of horror, and I'm like, no, 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 no. There's like 15 different categories.
Well, I wonder
Why don't you
if
start with
that's still
that?
true for more recent because it has leaned back towards more psychological or like paranoid versus paranormal. I think I said that. Weird.
I like that
Anyway,
word, paranoid. It's like paranoid and supernatural, paranormal, paranoid.
yep.
Paranoia.
I swear I'm sober.
It's been being watched by ghosts.
Yeah, like when all the Saw movies were coming out, like one after another, it definitely, horror was more focused towards gore, but we've gotten kind of away from that, and so I wonder if that's still the norm.
I hope so, because I'm ready. I do agree. I think these days the most common version that comes out is like the supernatural, the paranormal,
Yeah.
Well, those
or
are my
slashers.
favorite. It doesn't need to be any blood necessarily. Someone doesn't even necessarily need to die if it's done
You said
right.
necessarily. It sounds like you want blood.
Well, like ACDC said, if you want blood, you.
We watched that movie, It's What's Inside, right, where they switch bodies.
Wait, which one's that?
Kids from college have a reunion because one of them's getting married, two of them are getting married, and then this one of them has invented this machine that allows them all to switch bodies.
I'm not
And
sure that
they
was
use
up.
it at his bachelor party, and then spoiler. Well, you know what? No, I won't spoil it because it's a good movie. So go watch It's What's Inside.
I don't think we did much.
We didn't? Maybe not. Okay, well we should watch it next time.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember
don't
that.
know, but it
What
sounds
could
interesting.
possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong when you switch bodies with someone?
And kill you.
Well, any idea at a bachelor party is not something you should do.
Yeah, what happens if you die and someone else is in, or what happens if your body dies and you're in someone else's body? Let me just put it there.
Age-old question.
It's a really good movie. I
That's
think it's on Netflix. I consider that horror, although I guess it's more sci-fi than horror, but.
It
fell
has
asleep
gore
to crepe.
scenes for sure if someone dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, does someone have to die? I like a good supernatural, scary, suspenseful horror. Those are my favorite.
Like Babadook, where no one dies.
Awful kid horror movies.
Yeah, but it's like
Awful
it has a weird.
parent-kid
I
dynamic.
mean, sorry, spoilers for Babadook, but it has a weird happy ending.
It kind of reminded me of The Simpsons, where Ghost is like, get out, or the house is like, get out, and they're like, no, we're living here too, so you got to deal with it.
And then they're like, oh, okay. Can we
Yeah.
keep him?
Yeah, and then they're like, can you make the walls drip blood? And the house is like, no, I don't want to. Yeah, Babadook was Hereditary. It keeps coming up on Netflix. Those two movies
Well,
remind me of each other.
Babadook is really creepy, but again, knowing the ending changes the whole movie because it's like again, spoilers for that movie. I don't care as much, but like, it just becomes their pet. So it's like it's not even scary anymore. Hereditary is messed up.
Well, the parent-kid dynamic, they were similar. I think I watched them like at the same time.
That's a good point. You're right. There's maybe not the best moms in both movies.
Right, and some pretty awful kids. Well, not in Hereditary, but that's a pretty awful kid. No, I shouldn't say that.
Anyway,
He had some issues that she didn't know how to deal with, I guess is the way I should say that.
yeah, it's not his fault.
Yeah, clearly her fault. So, we didn't get very far on Two Talented Bastids. I think, I don't know, is this something he still worries about? Does he feel like a thief in his own head?
Well, I will say, out of all the things I was considering, and the fact that he mentioned demon, uh, what's it called, like soul deal, I was like, well, it's clearly not that. But for some reason, again, I was not thinking aliens. I was like, as soon as he said UFO, I was like, excuse me, this is where this is going.
I feel
Yeah.
like there's a whole nother book here that he didn't like go down that road for some.
Well, the whole thing kind of reminds me of a double feature in both seasons, both parts, the vampire part and the alien part of American Horror Story.
That was weird. I
Well,
didn't like
because it
that.
has the aliens, which is the alien part, and then it has the vampire part, which is the talent part. It's like either you have the talent or you don't. Because remember, in American Horror Story, they turned into vampires if they didn't have talent. Much
Yeah,
better
it's
ending in this case.
I love that idea. Like, well, are you willing to chance it? Like, pretty sure, but this is kind of like, yeah, this is kind of like that. Do you have the talent? Well, I mean, axiomatic, I'm assuming means it's taken from within you or something to that effect.
I meant
I
to
didn't
look it
bother
up
looking.
and I forgot.
Right.
They did keep saying though that like if it's not there then it won't work, which is apparent at the end too. So that I figure that must be what it means.
Well, that's what
I love.
happens in American Horror Story. It's like you can take take this pill, I think it is, and it's like if you have inherent talent, you'll become super talented immediately, and if you don't, you turn into a vampire. So that's why I was like, in his case, all it did was just not open, which is way better.
Yeah. One of my coworkers
Yeah,
said that
but the,
the story reminded him of Dreamcatcher.
why?
Interesting,
Because it was a UFO.
right? Because the aliens.
I guess.
I don't. I don't really see the. Uh, I mean,
How many? I mean, he
there are
doesn't have a ton
parallels.
of.
I mean, they were in a cabin in the woods on a hunting trip when some aliens showed up, and then it goes in two different
But
directions.
in Dreamcatcher, they were not. They didn't help them like they did in this story.
They never had the opportunity. Yeah, cool. They were there to take over. They weren't there to get help. It was like, yeah, those are totally different. Those were the Marky Mark kind of aliens.
I still haven't read it, so I wasn't sure.
You're fine.
Spoiler alert: there's aliens. But yeah, so there's a cabin in the woods, and there's aliens. So how long does it take to run a quarter mile? Because like these lights were there, so he ran back and got him and said, "Hey, come with me." And then they ran back,
Well,
and
it
then there
depends
was.
on how fast can you run a mile.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. 4 minute mile, right? If you're jogging, is like the gold standard. So
4 minute, maybe
I
if you're
think
like a.
in baseball, I ran a 7 minute mile.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4 minutes is like maybe Olympian.
I
That's what I
think
was gonna
gold
say.
standard.
Never in my life.
When
I
I used
hate
to run
running.
the track, it would be about I would do like a 10-minute mile. So, why can't I do that? What?
2.5.
For a quarter mile, yeah.
Maybe it's not that long.
I
It
was
seems
gonna
like
say
it would take a while to do
you
that.
could probably do it in like a minute 30 or a minute.
I feel like he could have shouted
If
at
you
him since it
sprint,
was
yeah.
that close. Like they're in the woods. They're like, "Hey, Dave, come here."
I honestly feel like I would have been so perplexed and afraid to move. Like I don't think I would have been able to go and get him.
My first thought was not. Yeah, I don't know that he would have entered my thought at all. I'd have been like, "Whoa!" And when
And
it was over, I'd be like, "Did you see that?"
they were just so casually like aliens, right? Yep, aliens. Cool, got it.
He tried so hard to make it like because they were men, and that's men don't talk about things. It's like, come on, get over that.
What's funny too is I just watched, Ryan and Shane from the Unsolved Days. They still do the Mystery Files. They just did one on the UFO that was shaped like a cigar. So I was like, whoa, this is weird.
I mean, which one? There's like 8 million of them.
I don't remember yeah, it was, I don't
Cigar
remember.
looks like a sideways disc, if you ask me. Or if you look at a disc straight on, it kind of looks like a cigar.
Well, I guess he touched on it in this story, but I'm much more of the opinion like, yeah, if aliens were real, we'd have much better footage. There's just no, or not that they're not real, but if we had evidence, it'd be better evidence. Let me put it that way.
Nowadays, for sure.
So you're
Yeah.
saying Bigfoot's not. What
I'll
about
go
the
out on a
Yeti?
limb and say Bigfoot's not real. I'm okay with that one.
Your ancestors are rolling over in their graves.
Yeah, they
They
also
probably
didn't
didn't have.
have Google for
Wow.
information or science.
The information superhighway. Not just a regular highway. Super high. The Ruth Crawford stuff, I guess, is just to establish that they were normal people that like to doodle and then became really good at it.
That's a good point. I didn't even realize that that half of the story is kind of irrelevant. You could have just given us his manuscript.
Well,
Yeah,
but the
I'm
first
kind
half
of
of the
fascinated.
story is him talking about himself.
Well, that's true, which he loves to do, as we found out all through all these books.
Yeah, the first character is a writer. Like, oh, stop me if you heard this before. Where's that Stephen King bingo thing at? I need that right now.
I honestly, it's hard to think of characters who aren't writers, except for in those 2 short stories we just read. But it's crazy. You can't not do it.
Carrie's mom.
Well, even Willie the Weirdo is the only one that didn't have a writer, because even in the fifth step, the Jameson was a writer, a retired writer.
Jesus, right.
He
Everybody's
says,
a writer.
"Write what you know."
Really?
Definitely does. And he
It's not
definitely.
until you start to read all of his works that you realize how true that is for him.
Yeah, well, that's why every time there's like somebody who goes to AA or somebody did this, I'm like, oh, so he did that. So that
I
happened to
know,
him.
but listen, I love Stephen King. I've never met him, but I'll say that I love him. I'm having lately reading some of these things, I'm trying to separate the fact that he's an author and he doesn't always think everything that he writes. Because some of these I'm like, ew, he doesn't have those thoughts, does he?
God, I
It'd
hope
be
not.
interesting to have a conversation with him. There was something, I got some update, Stephen King visits the King cast. I'm like, oh man, can you imagine?
Visits the what?
It's called the King cast. It's some podcast.
Oh God.
So he was talking to them about something. He's talking about he's seen Mike Flanagan's efforts so far and he thinks they're awesome.
Oh, what does that mean? I want to see the effort.
I know.
His
tired of hearing
casting,
about
his script, maybe? Is that what that means?
Yeah, I don't know if he used the word script, but he's seen what he's done so far and he likes it kind of thing. And Flanagan basically, or he said that Flanagan said it's fucking hard to do this, so it's taken him a while.
I mean, that's
So
I want
every
listen.
one.
I want it to take a while because I want it to be done thoroughly. But I just wish it's hard to live in this limbo of it's coming one day.
Oh, I've been doing this since the '90s. You kidding me? As soon as I
Well,
read maybe not the Gunslinger, but Drawn to the Three, I'm like that needs to be a movie.
especially if sorry, go ahead.
Everything else that he ever thinks of becomes a movie by the time he writes it. So I don't understand what the fucking problem is.
I was even going to go in a different direction. Oh, so many other things have been made into multi-movie series that don't even need it. So why not this one, which so deserves it?
Wheel of Time season 3 started, which is what Dark Tower got scrapped for on Prime.
Cool.
I mean, that's Robert Jordan. I've read his book, not all of them because there's a lot.
I also don't know that I trust Prime anyway, so maybe that's better because they kind of messed up Under the Dome.
And they were going broke, so they had to add commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I barely watched it without commercials. Now I don't watch it unless something specific. Oh, we have Apple TV. I saw something on there. Next time you do come, Amber, that we have to watch. I forget what it was.
I'm down. I still have my 3-month free trial.
See, you better you better set a date to cancel that.
The only thing I want to watch is Severance. Is that on there?
Yeah, but here's what I heard about that. This is like season 2, and it's 4 years after season 1, and after they haven't resolved a fucking thing, and I'm like, I did that with Lost, so I don't want to do that again.
Okay, but Lost is like a lot more seasons. This is only 2 seasons. I think I can give it a shot.
Well, do I want to wait another 4 years to have the season not resolve anything?
It's better to have loved and lost than to not have loved at all.
I did Game of Thrones. I'm not doing it again.
We all
I mean,
remember
so I
Lost.
was.
It's okay.
That's like the standard. It was so bad. It was so bad. I have so many questions. I just want to say "but" like 100 times in a row.
To bring us a little bit back to the topic, the alien encounter was the Kelly Hopkinsville alien invasion, whatever that was.
For that, wait, what?
So, sorry, the video that I watched about the alien invasion, I can't figure
Is that
out.
your cigar one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Evansville.
don't
I
know.
should probably just Google it. But it was cigar shaped and nobody believed him, and then, they were upset their whole life.
Benny and Barney. Wait, Betty and Barney.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
Like, do you say something? Yeah, there's a lot unexplained. Well, first of all, I love the fact how and I wonder if he really did this, where he shows the difference in his dad and Pop's writing between like before he got good at it and after, and like the subtle changes that made it better, like the Lightning Storm book, like the way he was struggling and he kept crossing shit out because he couldn't get it right, like in the first draft.
That part was so impressive to me because it's like, not only are you such a good author that you can write what you write, but you know how to write just like you can write in different tiers of what you write too. Like, how do you do that?
You can write. You're so good. You can write not as good on purpose.
Right. Like, I feel like if he could write an A+ paper and then a B+ and then a C+ and a D+ and an F paper.
Or is that just how he wrote it originally?
Maybe
That
he
was
pulled
like
something
that, and
out.
then he
Yeah.
crossed it out. Like, or is that naturally what happened, or did he like?
Is he trying to say that he had an alien encounter and that's what made him famous all of a sudden?
Possibly.
I think there's some point. I think he says he feels like and I'm gonna get it wrong, like a thief in his own brain or something like that.
I do like the part he talks about talent. He's like, why should I be so lucky when so many others want what I have and I didn't even ask for it? And it's like, the fact that he's so humble is why I love him so much.
Agreed.
A drive that most people don't have. It doesn't just take talent. I mean, I probably got all the talent in the world. I never bothered to do anything with it. Like, you have to have the two together to just like that's all he ever focused on, and he didn't care how many goddamn people told him no. He just kept doing it anyway because he knew that there was no chance that he was ever going to do anything else because he was so singularly focused on.
And I think a lot of people don't know that about him. Well, a lot of people don't know as much as we do too, but just the fact that like he's been rejected countless times. He just never gave up.
He was Harold Lauder. He had the spike on the wall with the rejection letter.
All the rejection letters, yeah.
I think about that now. Like, who are these idiots that rejected this guy? Like, was he that bad, or were they just really stupid? Like, they almost made and someone else might have given up and that talent would have never. What does they say? And his talented right hand would be stilled for him.
I mean, the thing is though, considering how prolific he is and how he can't stop, I think he would have been famous no matter what. I think there's no chance. At least one of the books wouldn't have been picked up, but then like it just happened to be that everything is famous right now.
This happened to be the one that he threw in the trash can.
I say this all the time. I don't know what I believe in spiritually, but Stephen King makes me more spiritual because it's like the way he talks about someone writing through him, I believe him.
Well, the limited amount of stories that I've made up myself, I do it the same way, and not no comparison, obviously, but like you make it up as you go, so your mind goes places, and you have to like bring it back and remember what the hell you're doing because you end up in these tangents. But writing takes a lot longer than your brain, so you get lost and you forget what the hell you're talking about, and you have to circle back. So, the idea you started with 2 hours later could be in a completely different spot, and you have no idea how you got there. So it feels like you're not even writing it. Your pen's it's like ghost writing almost.
That's such a good way of describing it because that is a lot. It feels like a lot of his stories is like he had no idea where this was going.
Oh, he says that. That's how he writes.
Yeah.
He's got an idea and he starts writing and he doesn't know what's going to happen.
That's why editing exists.
Well, that's why he writes everything twice too. I'm sure that would be so annoying. I guess you would have to do it that way, or have a really good editor. He's the kind though, like he doesn't want the editor to find grammar mistakes. He finds that embarrassing. So it's got to be perfectly polished by the time it goes to the editor. Let them do their job here. Like I can AI this recording and get rid of 682 ahs and ums if I want. So I feel like they could do it.
Yeah, I'm like, you're busy writing the ideas. I don't like your grammar and punctuation doesn't also have to be perfect.
Oh, he's such a grammar Nazi.
Well, he was an English teacher.
Right. Can you just imagine if he was like one of our, Facebook friends way back when?
I wonder what his opinion would have been on
The teacher, what was it?
it was something about the use, because he used the, like normally people say blank and I, but in that case it should have been blank and me in the one case.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah.
Anyway.
Emmer's uncle had to invoke his English teacher into a grammar argument we were having on Facebook. Or a text message. No, it was on Facebook.
Well, you didn't believe me either, but I texted you and I was like, hey, this is wrong. And then I think you sent him the group chat and was like, Amber's calling you out. And then he texted his English teacher from high school, and the English teacher said I was right. And I was like, I told both of you.
You're like, nah, 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 nah. Like, damn it. Yeah, it was one of them weird, like, exceptions to the rules, because English has a couple of...
You know who taught me that rule, strangely enough, is my mom.
Well, like, specifically that one?
Well, like whenever you're saying you and like my sister and I went to the store, if it makes sense for it to say, like, I can't remember what the context was, but it's like
you get rid of the first person, and if it makes sense in the context of just you, it's correct. So it's like, oh, my sister and I went to the store. I went to the store. Okay, that makes sense. It's not my sister and me because me didn't go to the store.
Exactly. But in this example, it was the opposite. It was supposed to be me instead of I. So I can't think of like how that would, what the example was. But I was like, you wouldn't say, well, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you explain it. Anyway.
They kept it close.
Yeah, they kept it close. Whatever that means.
My brother may have turned out to be a famous artist, but he sure as hell wasn't gay.
Yeah, God forbid. That'd be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Like, still with this? This is a new story. I can't blame it on anything. Like, it was 20 years ago.
It's yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Maine, I guess.
This guy. It's like fat people.
I feel like that's not an accurate representation of what he's
so progressive
feels,
in so many other ways.
But that's still
he
kind of
tries.
disappointing to read.
God help him. God bless him.
Like, who cares?
So, I forget where we were. But,
No, just
I have no idea what you said, but that was something.
Yeah, it was cool. Say that again. Oh no, she's reconnecting.
what?
Oh.
Wait, is it me?
Now she's fucking gonna be kicked out.
We lost her. She's gone to the aliens.
No.
I hope she doesn't like turn into clay or whatever the hell that was going on there.
Oh, you're back.
Oh,
wait,
shit.
is it? Can you hear me?
We thought the aliens took you. I was saying I hope you didn't turn into clay.
Oh no, she's gone.
Damn it.
Because it says reconnecting, but it still shows I'm talking, so I don't know what's happening.
I should probably wait for her to get back, but
Hello?
yeah, never. I'll wait for her to come back. I have thoughts about that.
Yeah, how do you?
Well, how does oxygen help aliens? I thought the whole point was that they are in outer space.
I think it was treated more like some kind of life force thing than just oxygen. It gave her your breath.
Yeah.
She really is. Riverside might be right this time. I don't want. I was on a roll. I don't want to stop.
I mean, well, what do we do?
We're just gonna go.
Okay.
Do we need to text her?
I don't know.
Was she like coming home from somewhere or something? Wasn't she?
I don't remember.
She was like, I can do it from like 8 to 9, but not after that or before that or something. We were like, maybe we should just do it next week.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's like at her grandmother's house or something. Maybe they lost power. Right? Things are going 19.
Well, wait till we're done to do that. I don't have time for all.
Somehow we spent all of the last hour talking about the shorter stories and not the long one.
I know, we barely got into that one.
Should we text her?
Gonna try to rejoin when it's done uploading. Oh God, what happened? Well, if we stop, we at least know where to stop. 70 minutes. God damn it, we were so close.
I mean, I guess if we have to, we can stop and talk about the story next time.
I mean, we could do that, right? Well,
We did it out of order, but it'll be fine.
Give her a second before we give, because we kind of got into it, but we didn't get all the way into it. Dave, let me.
Hello?
I see. Welcome back.
I don't know what happened. It just started saying reconnecting, and I was like, I didn't unconnect.
Are you in a car? Were you traveling or something?
No, I didn't move my phone. I have
Oh.
to. I'm
It's the
at,
aliens.
yeah,
Did the screen
I'm
time
at my
out?
grandmother's place, so maybe it dipped out. I don't know. I'm out in
Okay.
the sticks, so could have been the wind. Who knows?
Well, make
Or
sure it
the
uploads, because sometimes you
yeah,
sound like a phone that has no signal. So I'm assuming that'll fix that. And I always let me try again. I AI every episode to like make it sound better than we do.
Damn.
So it gets rid of like you can set like pauses. It's like get rid of every pause over like 3 seconds or 5 seconds. So it's kind of,
No dead air.
yeah, but then when you listen to it, sometimes I'm like, we're kind of talking too fast.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, it's gonna sound unnatural, and it's like, anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, like there's no like pause between like concepts, I guess you'd say, or rest after sentences. But then you like set the pause longer so it doesn't get rid of the short.
yeah,
So yeah, make sure it uploads. I guess we should be fine. Because now I expect it to say it's just the two of us or something. The other
yeah.
side doesn't like you.
Who knows? I did because it had a rejoin button at the top corner, but it said uploading and it wasn't done yet. So I was like, let this finish uploading first because I don't want to lose the audio track I currently have. So I let that finish and then just re-clicked the link. So hopefully my audio isn't messed up.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it should be. If it's not, it's not. Just be like a weird trippy. Sometimes when I do when I turn it into a video, I let it shows the words on the screen that we're saying, and sometimes it's like the words are somebody will like I'll be talking and one of you guys will say something in the middle of what I'm talking, but it doesn't know where to put it, so it puts it down at the bottom, so it'll jump back and forth. Head spinny, like when if we're all saying something at the same time. Um. Anyway, where the hell were we? I have no idea. What did we decide not to talk about?
We were talking about, oh God, what did I say that I was gonna wait to mention?
So the last thing I really heard and was commenting on was when you had brought up that Butch, like he said that his friend definitely wasn't gay.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's not that far back. I don't remember. Yeah, I got
God,
nothing
I
else to
can't
say.
remember what I said. Because I even said it, and I still can't remember what I just said. What did I
Me
say? I
neither.
said I found it unbelievable. I'll have to look at my notes.
I said I can't blame it on it being a 20-year-old book anymore. Oh, I
Yeah.
saw about fat people. Well, no, I said he doesn't understand. It's like when he writes about, I guess I should say, ample-bodied individual. It's clear he has no idea what he's talking about. I feel like it's the same thing. He may have been so being an artist is bad in itself, but at least he wasn't a gay artist, because that would have just been off the chain. I mean, chances are, I gotta tell you.
And just why does it
So I
matter?
don't remember where we're going.
No, just like why does it matter if he's gay or wasn't? It's not the 1900s anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know why.
Men can hang out, and I don't think that they're automatically gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Like the fact that he had to like explain that it was just a normal male relationship, and there's nothing like weird sexually going on. Like I
You know
didn't
what they
think that.
call that?
Guys go camping quite often and hunting and stuff, and I don't think every one of them is gay.
It's a cliche, but that's a form of, I would consider that a form of toxic masculinity. It's like, no, we're not gay. We're just friends. It's like, yeah, you can be friends. Who cares? And even if you are gay, who cares?
Yeah.
Like I think every show I've ever seen has made fun of that. Yeah, like oh, let's go shoot something. Like oh. Yeah, what does he say? I didn't go out to the cabin. I don't like hunting something that can't shoot back. Something like that.
That was the son,
Like
yeah.
Yeah, what are you, Predator? Come on. Dave won the annual town fair pie eating contest from 1960 to 66. There's a lot of pie eating contests in his world.
I mean, there may
And I
have been
think,
in Maine.
yeah, I think we're good. It was the only thing to do when the carnival came in and the castor oil float. 60 to 66 would be about the same time that Lardass was eating a pie.
I don't remember.
Seems about right. Good job. I kind of lost my train of thought. So Pop was popular. His net worth was over $10 million. I mean, not J.K. Rowling numbers or even James Patterson, but considerable. Why did he call her out or give her a shout out? Like I
I
thought there
don't
was
know, especially in 2024.
right. Like this is after their falling or their I don't know what you want to call it tweet battle. Where she tweeted some stuff.
Maybe he forgot temporarily.
Like, are they cool now? Like, did he forget that he doesn't like her? I'm not sure.
I mean, nobody's cool with her. Well, nobody that matters.
Right. I can think of some politicians that might be cool with her. Yeah, I thought that was weird when I saw her name. But and then Patterson was like, who? You want to read a book in 3 hours and feel good about yourself? Go read Patterson. Did you notice the Maine administrative district?
What do you mean?
I'm trying to get the context of it. I had the line highlighted. I wasn't a child. I was alone. I married Susan Wiggins. Blah blah blah. But that's all you need to know because this story isn't about me. Not really. When my father said that thing about not leaving me broke, what I believe we both thought of, is to whom I would leave that 10 million, or whatever remained of it when my time came. Well, probably Maine School Administrative District 19. Schools always need money.
Yeah, I did not catch that.
Mm-hmm. He's still doing it.
Yeah,
It's kind of
19.
fun when you find this shit because it's like he just wrote this. Like this is the newest one. So like, oh, he's still doing it. It's so cute. It's like like a warm blanket.
The one I caught was Highway 19, which is one of his novels.
19 was all
As
over
many times as
To
I'm surprised it wasn't TR 19.
yeah.
see Dark Score Lake and Noonan's again, I was like, this is weird.
Oh, he called it the old Noonan place. I was so happy
Yeah.
because when the Noonans were there, it was the something place,
Sarah
Sarah
and they
laughed.
would
laughed.
like never be there long enough to. Well, no, I mean they didn't call it the Noonan place. They called it. It wasn't Sarah Laughs. It was something else, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Like instead of the Noonan place, it was the Miller place.
Yeah.
So they finally, I guess, enough bad shit happened there that it's now the Noonan place.
Probably.
Hard to forget that. I'm surprised the TR survived that. Well,
Well, it didn't. Well, I guess it did, but
I mean, they did, and then it became
yeah.
Pritchard. I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So the TR is still there. It's just bigger now, right? Now it's a
It's
town
like,
instead of
I
a
imagine
dirt
it's like
road.
a housing development or whatever.
No, I wonder where Maddie is. Wait, not Maddie. Kyra. I
Maddie's
say
dead.
Maddie when I mean Kyra. Yeah, I know where she is. She's hanging out with Sarah Laughs and Joe. The demon thing that was in The Outsider and also Willie the Weirdo. I wonder if Grandpa went Toad.
Todash? Well,
And
I
it's
mean, it is a form of time traveling, but
well,
I
I'm
don't know.
thinking of this demon outsider thing. Like, there's a now we're back to this like this outsider.
Was Grandpa at the Noonan at Sarah Laughs in the 90s?
Oh, it's Grandpa the Outsider from the Outsider book.
I just put my video on for a second.
It looks like
Sorry.
Oh
you're
yeah.
looking at the ceiling.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Hey, I can video anytime I want. I'm all sitting here in the dark, so you can barely even see me.
I meant to hit the mute because I'm chewing chips, so I didn't want to be super loud, but I hit video instead.
So I think I said that one time. Let's do a video podcast. You were like, no way,
I mean, I'd be down. I just have to prepare for it to be on video because
right?
normally I'm like,
And then you'd be like 20 minutes.
I'm always doing other
anywho,
things when we podcast, so
that's more what I'm worried about. Yeah.
Well, I definitely would have to like review it carefully before anything got out there. Okay, so you were picking your nose at that point.
no. Well, no, like podcasting is now my time to paint my nails.
Okay, you can still do that. I don't see the problem. So aliens showed up, and I love the parts where he's
I just remember what I said. I'm not buying. Like, how is it that oxygen saves An alien. I thought the whole point was they're from outer space and they don't breathe oxygen. That was what I said.
Oh yeah, and I said it was more of a life force because he keeps
Yeah.
saying he gave him his breath. He didn't say nothing about oxygen, so I think he gave her part of him without really knowing it.
It's like a Horcrux.
Yeah,
That's from
Maybe
Harry
great.
Potter.
that's why the J.K. Rowling call out.
Right?
Like, here, I'm
Hopefully it's
giving you
all
some
coming around.
royalties by listing you by name because I'm kind of stealing your idea.
I did it again. Damn it. Go on.
I'm killing my press.
Alright, I just won't hit the mute, but I'm chewing my chips right now.
They're dots. I'm just gonna have to get it. They're on sale. I had to buy them.
I'd buy them if they weren't on sale.
I like that violins part. Like there was no violin.
Yeah, at first it was confusing, but the more they explained it, the more it made sense. It's like, it starts out slow with the violins, but it's enticing enough so you want to hear like the swell of it all.
Yeah, it's like there wasn't much happening, but there was violins, something like that, that kept me. Like I thought that was a good way to put it. I had to think about it. I was like, what?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So they see the lights, and the next, and then yeah, they're weirdly manly. Like, so aliens, right? Yeah. How about that? Yeah. Let's go to bed. Okay. I had no fucking way I'm going to sleep for like at least fucking, I don't know. Maybe because of the breath thing they ate or whatever that made them tired, but they didn't seem. I would have been jumping out of my chair. Like I wouldn't have been able to sit still. Holy Christ!
He did even say that it was like probably a sedative, kind of.
He didn't say it was what.
He said like the minty smell that they smelled. He was like, yeah, it's probably some sort of a sedative too. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to bed.
What does he say? If it kills us, it's like, well, then we're dead.
Yeah.
Fast acting sedative.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It's like, what if the bridge washes me away? It's like, well, then I'll wave bye to your body or some shit. I don't know that I want to be crossing over this bridge that's about to fall apart.
Yeah.
I know, with all three of them on there, I was like, no.
Yeah,
Also,
and
I wonder how many people nowadays actually understand that Gumby reference.
oh, I got it right away. But yeah, that's good.
It's a good point.
I'm gonna be damn up. Yeah. So the next day, that's what I was saying. Like they're just, he's like saying blah 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 blah. There was a body laying on the deck, or there was a woman on the dock. Like, wait, what? Where did she come from?
Yeah, they're like, there wasn't a ship, but there was a woman lying on the bridge. I'm like, excuse me?
So what happened? Did they crash and like she got like thrown out the front window or something? She never seatbelt on.
Didn't he say when they talked to the young man the next day, he said, oh, they thought it was an allergy. That's why the epinephrine worked. Like a bee
She's
sting,
allergic
maybe?
to Earth. I don't know. She's not
I don't
allergic
know
to
if we were.
oxygen, clearly.
I think they insinuated like she got stung by a bee or something and it made her pass out.
Yeah, they never really
So
said
EpiPens are
what
universal.
caused it,
Right.
which I think isn't really the point of the story, anyways.
Well, she was kind of, so when she wasn't completely there or completely solid until she started, I guess, healing, and then she started to get more solid, and her painted on clothes started to become actual clothes.
Would they have saved her if they hadn't had CPR training? Firefighter training?
If it wasn't for his wife, they wouldn't have had the thing with her.
That's also true.
I mean, better if it was a man on the dock, would they have saved?
Ow.
With their
They don't want to
training,
look gay.
probably.
Right, they would have saved them and then went, we're not gay, but we saved you.
No CPR for you guys, sorry.
Right, we just couldn't do the mouth-to-mouth part, but everything else. Yeah, that was, that made me feel oogie when his fingers started sinking into her. It was
Yeah.
like, ooh.
When Butch
Like,
picked her up and he was like, ugh, and like he said, never mind, let's move. I'm like, no, I know why you're making that sound. That's gross.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Because that was after he did it. Yeah. How do you pick someone up that, like, you can't grab? Could he have, like, I don't know, squeezed her foot off trying to pick her up because he was like sinking into it?
Wow.
Ugh.
Yeah, pretty much. I wonder how many nights Mr. Ryder and his wife have been together. Pop slept downstairs on a pull-out couch. We cleaned out the bedroom where they had spent over 21,000 nights. I didn't do the math because I don't feel like it. It's a lot of nights.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, you counted. I'm assuming
No.
he did like 30 years times whatever, I don't know.
Right.
365.
8 hours a night times 7 days a week. Yeah, that's I wonder how many nights I've been alive. That's kind of depressing. I don't want to think about it.
I
Anyway,
wouldn't feel like doing the math.
I think he's getting, well, obviously older. Well, he's just old. He's not getting older. Thinking more about the end of stuff because there's a lot of like references in his later work.
Yeah.
The shortness of life. This one is it was kind of a neat image actually. She pulled over on his when he's talking about his mom. She pulled over on the shoulder of a serious hill, set the emergency brake, turned off the engine, folded her hands in her lap, and went into the darkness that surrounds this bright flash we call life. So I don't know, that it just kind of stuck with me. She had the presence. She's like, I'm dying. Let me pull over and set the brakes so nobody else dies. Like, all right, now I can.
That's kind of crazy.
Right. Or like, hold on, heart attack. Give me a second. I got to pull over. All right. Let's. Oh, it is Highway 19. It's right there in fucking italics, and I highlighted it. Oops. Too much 19. I wonder why he went to the TR. That was so random that he went back to the TR90. I'm like, wait a minute.
I know.
Does
How
he
did that
know,
even
like,
pop into your head?
did he know we were reading Bag of Bones or something?
Apparently, it's the best woods to hunt in.
It was the 30-mile part of Bag of Bones.
I
I
don't
was
think
trying
so.
I
to
remember the lake.
remember.
Thing.
Well, because I was trying to think of all the books that have dairy and woods and like bordering towns. So like it, Tommy Knockers, Bag of Bones, I guess Needful Things because that's based in Castle Rock, and I'm like, 30 miles is pretty big. Like, is all of this tied to the same woods?
Yeah, I was thinking even Pet Cemetery.
I mean, it's big, but Maine's also big, and there's a lot of.
That's also a good point.
Cool.
They have a whole lumber industry. They have so many damn trees. Yeah, I don't know.
I did
It's so
write down.
bad.
I wrote down the creek name and the like Harlow Cemetery because I wanted to look it up and see if they were connected to
I've
other
never
stories.
seen a creek that fucking what the Jalassi. That thing sounded like a river. Right, guys.
Yeah, Jalassi Creek, whatever that means.
He said it was a bastardized word of something and something else.
The
He's just up
Micmac.
there making up words. He's doing gummies. Like, what if I took half of this word and half of that word? With his rock and roll musical. I like. Didn't Emily Dickinson leave the world saying, "I must go in. The fog is rising."
I didn't really understand why that was like a bad thing. I'm like, what are you saying? I'm like,
I
she's
don't
crazy?
even. I'm trying to figure out how to interpret that, and I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is it
I'm
good?
like,
Is it bad? Is it
it just feels
like?
poetic, which makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she's just like slowly dying, and it's like fading to black.
Like, no, she's crazy. She thought that there was fog that was
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
kill her. I'm like,
of
no,
all the
that's you.
ways to go, there could be, yeah, worse ones. It could be the guy in Salem that got pressed to death. Like, why did he just like move, roll over or something?
I'm like, well, we do know of an author who wrote about Deadly Fog, but it wasn't Emily Dickinson. Or Deadly
Very misty,
Mist, I should
very
say.
misty
Sorry.
that fog.
Yeah.
What is the difference between fog and mist?
I don't know, density. You can see further in the mist. That way you can see the things that are in it or not in it. Who knows?
That is a good question. I have no idea. I have to Google that.
I don't know. They made me
Maybe
want a food
mist
pilot.
is more wet.
What I will say is that the movie The Fog is basically the same premise. So, well, I guess The Fog was Pirate Ghost or something.
Oh, great! Now I can't watch it.
Yeah, from what, 2005?
I mean, I've seen it a few times. I like that movie. It's one of my like. It's not a good movie, but I like watching it, and I put it on sometimes when nobody's looking.
I know what you mean. It's yeah.
And it's probably the nostalgia more than the quality, I'm sure.
Well, again, it's not that. I guess it kind of reminds me more of Pirates of the Caribbean, actually, because it's like pirate ghosts that come
Yeah,
back,
well,
right?
this was before.
I don't know, actually. No, well, Pirates was 2001. I don't actually know when The Fog came out. I think it was 2004. No, that was The Mist. No, The Mist is 2007. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, you're all over the place. I want to say if Pirates is 2001, I want to say that might have came out first. I feel
I
like
think
2004-ish is right for the fall.
yeah, for some, like, I'm really good with dates, so I'm pretty sure that that's the right year. Apparently, it came out in 1980 originally by John Carpenter, which I didn't know.
Vampires is on Netflix. We got to watch that. bad.
2005 is when the Fog remake came out.
Still, same point.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
Yeah, I like Pirate Ghost. I like it. No Davy Jones. Just your normal one.
Yeah, I wrote that on my notes. Of all the ideas in my head, UFOs was not even close. When he said that, I was like, oh, okay.
I'm not. Yeah. Okay. So, these are clearly some low-level UFO people.
What? What do you mean?
Well, they're like the trailer trash UFOs. They're running around to fucking
Dumpster diver?
dumpsters and picking through them. And yeah, I mean, after all this time, they still run the dump. It's just
It
a bigger
reminds.
dump.
God, this keeps coming back to Harry Potter, but it reminds me more of I can't remember Mr. Weasley, basically, because he was obsessed with like Muggle artifacts, and he would always collect them.
What is the
Oh,
purpose of
okay.
a rubber duck?
Yeah, right. Good question. I don't know, but they bring me joy.
Yep.
They simply shrank to the size of a plate, then a penny, then a dot, then gone, as if it had gone straight up. Wouldn't you be able to tell if it had gone straight up in the air? Wouldn't you see that?
I'm more the way he described it before. He said as if it had gone straight up. Well, maybe that's exactly what it looks like. But it's like when it just kind of like disappears out of existence. It's like more like
Yeah,
it
if it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, there it goes. Like every.
like fades away. Yeah.
Well, they weren't seeing the ships, they were just seeing the lights because it was heavy clouds.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you just
flat
see
landing.
lights and then lights fading, they could still
That's
be
true.
there and just shut their lights off.
That's so true.
This isn't that different than like the stuff he wrote 30 years ago. You could have told me this was in Skeleton Crew, and I would have believed.
It's not. No, right. I agree with that. I'm not used to seeing him write about aliens so blatantly. We have Tommyknockers, we have Dreamcatcher, but those are different.
Kind of it.
I think so. I don't know. I haven't read everything you tell me.
I can't think of anything. I
It
mean, it
just
doesn't
feels
mean there's a lot, so it doesn't mean there's not something there I'm not thinking of.
again. This feels like watching an episode of like The Unsolved.
Can I?
But it is solved, right? It's like we know
I
it's
mean, it's
aliens in
sort
this
of solved.
story.
I mean, what's with the guy? He was just like,
Yeah, I
who
don't know.
are these aliens? What the fuck?
Well, the guy had to come because the girl was wounded, so he was like the messenger. Give him the what do they
They
call
were
it?
like looking in the trunk. They're like, what can we give them? Because they helped you out. Here, give them that. Oh yeah, they might like that. Because they have like a trunk full of fucking shit that they were dumpster diving.
Yeah, but he didn't find that on Earth.
No, they're going across. They're hopping across the universe, dumpster diving.
Oh, right, right. I did like for some reason that thought like gave me peace, even though it's not like it's true or not true. But the thought is like intelligent life is rare, but there are other planets out there. I'm like, yeah, I hope so.
Wait. Oh, there's definitely other planets out there. I don't know if there's.
Well, that's what the Fermi paradox is. Is like, how come if there are so many Earth-like planets with sun-like stars, why is there no evidence of life? And there's a lot of theories to that, but we don't have to get into that right now.
That's why we have.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, actually, but it is, yeah, because we didn't know anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all Carl Sagan. Either we're alone in the universe or we're not. Both are equally terrifying.
Right, exactly.
I
Actually,
don't.
I don't even think that's true. I think to be alone is more terrifying. But, that's another discussion.
I mean, as long as if we're not alone, we're like, you know, bigger and strong. And even if you find a planet, like who knows? Just because, let's say, we discover that there's probably a life form, and if they're like 80 million light years away, doesn't mean they're gonna see them many times.
Right. Well, that's part
We'll
of
be
the
sending like,
that's part of the theory is like we don't have the technology to see other possible civilizations or forms of life that could exist out there.
well, we're getting there.
Yeah, of course we're getting there, but
We're looking at like
this is
radiation. Like like us, like the Earth is much brighter than it should be because of all the lights that we turn on and electricity.
yeah.
So they're
Well,
looking for those
yeah,
kind
I
of
did
signatures.
see that recently. We found another
Yeah,
planet that has a lot of light emitting from it.
ancient aliens. Giorgio was like,
I
"What
did
is?"
not see that on Ancient Aliens. I saw it on a reputable source.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. That show fooled me once, it will not fool me again.
Oh yeah, what is?
I used to think all of the things on that show were real, and I started fact checking, and I was like, oh, I got fooled.
Right. Damn. Yeah. I mean, they start every sentence with "what if," so you got to take it from there. Like, so you got 15 seasons of making shit up. That's pretty good.
Also, like I said, I'm sorry for you. Your world is a living breath in a universe that is mostly filled with deadlights.
Yep.
Oh, the deadlights. What did he mean by that? See, that kind of changes things, right? Because the deadlights are towed at,
I mean,
and
I think it's what we were just saying. There's not a lot of life in the world, in the universe. I mean, not in the world.
there's got to be life. But I don't think we can see them, or will we ever?
I agree. Well, I don't think it's impossible, but I don't want to have this conversation right now. We've already been rambling too much, but we're not even at a type 1 civilization, and we need to be able to get there to be able to communicate with other beings in space. So in order to do that, we have to stop fighting each other on Earth, and that's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Well, yeah. We're gonna destroy each other before we worry about contacting
Exactly.
anybody else. So they'll be like, "Wait, you're fighting over what now?" Okay. Well, let us know when you figure that out, Steve. Yeah. Basically, I guess we got to stay on point. They get talented. So they get talented, and then blah blah blah. 40 years, and he dies. Marky's at the cabin, and he tries to blow on it, and it doesn't work. So clearly, he doesn't have any talent.
And he's fine
Oh,
with
like,
that. He's totally fine with that. He doesn't care at all.
but wait a minute. Wait. Didn't they say it was only going to work for them too? Like, it doesn't mean, like, I feel like he gave up too quick.
I don't think
He
he
was
said that at all, actually.
like, is this thing just going to work for everybody that ever blows on it? Like, well, good God, fucking start distributing it. I think it had been used for its intended purpose. It was never going to work again, whether this guy had any talent or not. He was looking for a reason for someone to tell him not that he didn't have talent, so he could give up on his dream.
I mean, wouldn't it be like almost like it's not maybe the answer you want to hear, but at least you can say like I can put that to rest. There's no point. Well, no, okay, because people
He
can still
kind of
have
had a
hobby.
lot of that, like giving up on your dreams and middle age shit going
But
on
you
in
can
this book.
still have a hobby and enjoy it that way.
It's also true. It
yeah,
doesn't
but
have
if
to
it's a
be like,
dream and you know that it would be unfulfilled, then that's kind of soul crushing.
You know what? Maybe it's because I don't have a dream. Because I'm like, I think it would be easier to cross that one off the list. I don't have to work at that anymore.
right? Oh, mine are not. What the fuck would he know about not realizing his dreams, first of all?
And most people, right. I was going to say, most people don't do what they dreamed of doing, I guess is the best way to put it.
I think he's doing a lot of like, getting older, introspection. Like you said, like he realized his dreams. Like, what the fuck made me so special that like I got to be this guy for my whole life? I think that's a lot of what this is about. He's like, oh, because someone gave it to you. You didn't do it.
I was going back to look to. Sorry, go ahead.
Why are they all lusting for Earth women? I think there's a reference there I didn't get.
I assume that was a reference. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look it up.
But he was like, there's a good word for it, perhaps French, a veneer. I'm like, what the fuck's a veneer? And then he's like, a souvenir. I'm like, oh, that's a veneer with a sou on it.
I went back to look at like what the wording was exactly. He never says it will only work for them. He just says this is for you, a gift, our way of saying thank you. He says this is for both of us, and he says yes. And there's no word for what it does except primal, a way to use what you are not using. Such blah blah blah. So like I think it could work on anyone.
I think it was spent. That was the impression I got. I still think Marky was just looking for a reason to give up on his dream. Whatever they were, I don't remember. Oh, acting,
I see it
like,
as the opposite. I think he was hoping it would give him talent and he could become like his dad.
Yeah,
if
I
he
agree.
wanted it, what did he need the box for? The power was within him the whole time.
Apparently not.
Apparently it was. He just didn't know how to use it.
Well, no, if it was there, then he would have been talented after he tried to use the tool.
The tool was spent.
No, it just didn't open for him. It's not a. That's what I'm telling you. There's nothing here that says you can only use it on YouTube and it'll never work again.
Well, then why didn't they give it to everyone they knew?
Because, well, I mean, probably because I didn't think anyone would believe them, and it's for them. They kept it close.
You don't have to believe him. You just have to blow on it. Just trust.
Why? I don't know that I would. My automatic reaction would be, let's share this with everyone.
He
Not that I'm
realizes everyone's
selfish,
full
but
potential. I mean,
it's like a. I don't know. Just
right.
I think there's a world where you don't do that, and also that you could still think that it works more than one.
Too many books to read and too many paintings to buy. Everyone's fucking talented, goddamn.
Maybe it's less of and So if he, like, because Mark blew on it and it didn't open, so there's, it's saying there's not natural talent there. But that doesn't mean that learned talent isn't a thing. But maybe if they share it with too many people, it would make it more inundated and less special. Also, it would bring attention to the town that they maybe wouldn't want.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced. But what I did learn is because of these fuckers that we have a whole conspiracy theory about Kennedy's assassination because they have the goddamn film. So they would just.
If they would show us, you mean?
Right. Well, if we had that film, we would know who shot him. I guess I don't know what
I
film.
thought it was on film.
There was this Zabruder film, but all that shows is like the top of his head blowing. I guess they figure out the angle and all that from that. The obligatory Kennedy call out. I was like, oh, you guys have the film. I don't know what film, but immediately I was like, oh, you have the film. Of course you do. Because the film we have isn't that great. So it wasn't to see it. It was What If Alien.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I don't have too much else to say about it, right?
Yeah, I think
and
that's
then they
about
pay
it.
taxes on the place for 40 years. And are we going to keep going with this book? I guess.
Sure. I don't know. I guess, sure. I'm down. I don't know what the plan was.
We haven't done short stories before. It's kind of interesting.
I'm done doing shorts.
All right. So we could just do story number 4 and call that a day for the next one. Because that's about what?
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Oh, I guess we have the same book.
Right. Weird how that happened.
Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream. So just this 4th one?
Yeah, I think what's Finn? 20? Do you want to do Finn or not? I think we're going to have a lot to talk about with Danny. Maybe we should just keep it.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Because then we can do like Finn. Then we can do everything up to Cujo. Just about.
Up to Cujo.
Rattlesnake. Oh, that'll be weird. You haven't read the first one.
No.
So there's like a dog and it's got rabies and people die.
Why? Yeah, I know what it's about.
And she's cheating on him the whole time. That's important for this.
While she's in the car.
Well, she's talented. No, it's actually I think it happens before the story opens. So it's something he like finds out, I think, at the very beginning, or he had just found out, and then he has to like go out of town on business, and then she goes to something at the guy's house, Joe Cambridge's house, I think.
When he was trying to come up with the villain names, he's like, "That's too on the nose." I'm like, "Yeah, you would never do that."
Why was that too on the nose? I missed that.
I don't know. That's what I mean. All those names are names he would definitely use in his stories. That was my point.
That was part of the like. You just sat there, I was like, this name, that name. Like, where do you get all these names from? Because like when I do that, I struggle with names. I'm like, fuck. Like, okay, how about this guy and that guy? I'll look around the room and I'll like just pick random words and see if I can make
Yeah. So even when I used to write short stories, I would just pick a first name and then I would like look around the room, or like if I found a name and something else I read that I liked, I would write that down and like to use for names later on.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have a sage black that I liked. Yeah, well, I never used it.
It's a little. It reminds me of like Jack Black. I don't know.
It's a little 90s beatnik. Well, that's why when he talks about dead don't complain, he walked through Mount Hope Cemetery and get names. I'm like, now it makes sense. Names are a pain in the ass.
I mean, yeah, that is a great point. We should have written down some of those names when we.
I know. I bet you there was a. Still, man. We'll probably recognize every last name in there.
Right? There's gonna be a 19.
19.
Like the name, obviously, I'm sure a lot of the graves have 19s on them.
Cold storage. That was the part that always like, ooh, I hope a lot of people didn't die that winter because they're all like piled up in the mausoleum over there until it gets warm enough to bury.
They can keep each other warm. Just kidding.
Here. I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, it's not a problem you have to deal with.
Right. Well, I just mean all the dead people keeping each other warm. I don't know whether to be upset
it's not
about
that different than them being in the ground. They're just separated
Well,
by wood.
I mean, are we talking about like, are there ghosts hanging out, or are they just like?
You tell me. Is your ghost connected to your body? Is there a universal rule for that?
I don't know. Because Joe seemed to break every one of the rules that I thought I knew.
Exactly. Ghosts can be connected to anything. So
Yeah, like she just like randomly left Derry and like went to fucking Dark Shore Lake and decided to haunt there. Did she have to like fill out a form for that? Filed in
Can I get
triplicate.
a out of state request, please?
Right. What is it? Office Space TP90 or TP
I
report?
still haven't seen it.
TPS report. Oh, we gotta watch that. You haven't seen Office Space? I have a couple things on. A couple places.
I only have.
Okay, so Danny Coughlin's bad dream.
Sounds. Are we doing it in a week?
Well, we don't have to do. I mean, we can do 2 weeks. Don't we do 150 for 2 weeks all the time?
I feel like we do a little bit more, but that's fine with me. I don't care.
All right.
I don't care.
Hey, man, I'm down.
All right.
Let's just leave it there. We'll call it. Maybe we'll actually figure out how to have a short podcast.
Oh my God. So are we doing more than one or not?
No, we're not.
Okay, just Danny Coughlin's bad dream in 2 weeks approximately.
It's all about Dan.
Okay.
And the podcast, everybody say goodbye.
Bye. Wait.
Leave the thing on until it uploads.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.